Hello students, this is Mrs. Bobby S. Biju, and today I am going to teach you about the chapter 2, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants for the class 12th. So shall we start with it? Students, the topics to be covered today will be a flower and its parts. Second, we'll be learning about the ananther. Third, we'll study about the cut section of an anther, and the last one will be the transverse section of an anther. So these many topics we will be covering it today. So let's start, children. Students, you know the term called flowering plants. Flowering plants means the angiospermic plants, angiosperms that we generally refer to as. Now, a typical angiospermic flower, as you all know, has four whorls. Now, what are those four whorls? Let me list it out. First one, the sepals. Second, the petals. Third one, the androecium. And the fourth one is the gynoecium. Sepals, you know there is another one term for it, and that is also called as the calyx. Petals, you know it's the corolla, the colored petals, the corolla. So these are the four whorls. One is the sepals, second one being the petals, third one the androecium, and fourth one the gynoecium. You all know the typical structure of an angiospermic flower. Now let me tell you two more points for it, that sepals and the petals, these two parts of a flower, they do not take part actively in the process of sexual reproduction. So these two can be called as the non-essential part for the sexual reproduction. So let me write it here. It is also called as a non-essential part. As I told you that they do not play an essential role in the process of reproduction. But what about these two, androecium and the gynoecium? The androecium and gynoecium, I don't think there is any much complexity in the two terms. What is the androecium? It is depicting the male part. It depicts the male part of a flower. And what is gynoecium, students? It is the female part of a flower. And these two parts, that is the male and the female part of a flower, they actively take part in the process of sexual reproduction. So we can write it over here, they are the essential part of any flower. So here we can write the term here, essential part, very necessary part. It's an essential part. So I think two terms are very much clear to you. The sepals and the petals, they are the non-essential part. So you can write it over here. In your notebook also you can write. And androecium and gynoecium, being the male as well as the female part of a flower, they are the essential part of a flower. They make the essential part. So let's proceed further. Children, you know already the diagram of a flower, how a flower looks like, what are the parts of a flower, that you know it very clearly. Now let's take the most important part of a flower, that is the androecium. Today our discussion will be on androecium, and I told you it's the male part. So when we talk about androecium, the male part, it is also called as the stamen. It is a stamen. And what is stamen? That you know that it's the combination of two terms. What is the combination of two terms? What is that? One is anther and the next one is the filament. So this together, anther and filament, this together comprises the stamen, or you can also call another one term, it is also called as microsporophyll. It is also called as a microsporophyll, right? Now, how does an anther look like? That you know, children. Let me make an anther over here. So here goes an anther. You can make along with me in your notebook, children. So here, this is a typical stamen. This is a typical stamen. Okay. And let me write here, this is a stamen. You can see here two lobe-like structure at the top. Can you see this two lobe-like structure? A little bulge is there. You can see this two lobe-like structure. So this two lobe, this is the first lobe. We can write it here as the second lobe. So these two lobes are visible to you all. And here there is a long slender stalk-like structure. And this long slender stalk-like structure, students, is nothing else but the filament. So here we write it as the filament. And what is this particular, these two lobes together, the two lobes together, it is called as an anther. So I'll write it here, anther. Okay. Now let me tell you that this anther is a very important part, because this is actively involved in the process of sexual reproduction. So we can say that this is the fertile part. So I'm just adding a word to it, that this is the fertile part. On the other hand, you can see the long slender stalk-like structure, which I told you that this is a filament. This doesn't take an active part or active role in the process of sexual reproduction. So this is sterile. This is not fertile, this is sterile in nature. Okay. So this is a stamen comprising of an anther having two lobes, 1 and 2. You can see this lobe and this lobe, and then there is a filament. Filament is sterile, whereas anther is fertile, right? Now, let's talk about the details of an anther. When we talk about an anther, it's very important that we discuss about these lobes of an anther, and what is present inside the anther is sporangia. What is present inside the anther is sporangia. So I will be discussing about the lobes as well as the sporangia. Now depending on the types of plant, depending on the different types of plants, the number of lobes varies, the number of sporangia also varies. How? Let's see. In some plants, generally, in a typical angiospermic flower, we can see that the anther consists of two lobes. Like you can see over here, we have two lobes. Is it? So, when there are two lobes, children, in these two lobes, either of these lobes contains two sporangias. Either of the two lobes contains two sporangias. So how many sporangias in total? When there are two lobes, there will be how many sporangia? 4 sporangia. So let me use a term for this. 2 means, it is dithecous. We can write here that it is dithecous. The anther here is dithecous. So you can see dithecous, 2 lobes are there, and that is 2 thecas are there, or you can say bilobed, dithecous or bilobed. So 2 words you can use over here. And then you have this 4. I told you sporangia are 4. On either side of the lobe there are 2 sporangias. They are nothing but sac-like structures, students. Sporangia are sac-like structures. So when 4 is given. So let's write here, it is called as a tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate. Okay. So this is the first point. So you can note it down. In some plants, in some other plants, there are some deviations also. Let us see those deviations. In certain plants, we can see there is only one lobe. One lobe, so we can call it as monothecous. One lobe, so we use a term called monothecous. And there can be two sporangia. And since we have two sporangia, we can call it as bisporangiate. So here I am going to write it as bisporangiate. Now where do you find this? Where do you see such a deviation? You can see such a deviation in the family of Malvaceae. And the very good example of it is China rose. So here you can write for your convenience an example, China rose, and you know China rose belonging to the family of Malvaceae. Okay. Similarly, students, there are other deviations also, like you have, there are certain plants where there are again one lobe, that is again they are monothecous, again monothecous, and there is sporangia will be only one in them. So one sporangia means it is monosporangiate. One sporangia means it is monosporangiate. So one lobe, it is called as monothecous, and how many sporangia in certain plants? Only one sporangia, so we call it as monosporangiate. So I hope you have understood up till here. So let's see some more details about an anther. So now we'll be studying about the cut section of an anther. Why we study about the cut section of an anther? To know more details of it. So this is one anther, students. This is one anther, and you can see here already I have told you all. So these are the two lobes, one lobe, this is the second lobe. In either of the two lobes there are the sporangia, that is a microsporangia, one here, second one here, third one at that corner, and fourth one here. So from seeing the structure itself, I think you can write 2 points for it. First one, you can write that the structure of an anther is tetragonal. So it is tetragonal in shape. Tetragonal in shape. It has got 4 corners. Second thing, what you can write here is you have got 4 sporangia. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what was the term I had given you? I had told you it is called as tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate. Okay. Now let's talk about this. I've already told you this is a sporangium. So let me take out a sporangium here and tell you about its details. So then this is a sporangium. Now this sporangium can also be called as a microsporangium. So here you can write it as microsporangium. Microsporangium. Now what is the fate of this microsporangium? This will later get transformed into pollen sacs. So they will transform themselves into pollen sacs. ये pollen sacs में बदल जाएंगे, और आपको नाम से ही पता लग रहा है ना, sacs का मतलब क्या है? थैले जैसा जिसके अंदर होगा पोलन्स. तो क्या होगा? अब पोलन सैक्स के अंदर क्या बनने वाले? thousands of pollen grains इस सैक्स के अंदर प्रेजेंट रहेंगे. ठीक है, तो मेरे ख्याल से आपको ये समझ में आ गया होगा कि दिस इज वन एंथर, एंड what the 2 points you have written, that it is tetragonal in shape. It has got 2 lobes. You can write here tetrasporangiate and bilobed. पहले भी बताया मैंने, bilobe लिख सकते हो, या आप you can write here dithecous. That means 2 thecas it has, dithecous. ठीक है, तो आपको ये 2 पॉइंट हो गए. tetrasporangiate 1, 2, 3, 4 because 4 sporangias are there. Then I told you what is this? This can be called as a microsporangium. Why did I use the term micro? Because we are discussing now about the male part of a flower. This will get transformed into pollen sacs, और pollen sacs क्या store करेंगे अपने अंदर? They will be storing in themselves thousands of pollen grains. Is that clear to you? Okay. Next will be, our next topic will be the transverse section of an anther. Already children, the outline has been made of an anther. You can see this is an anther, one anther this is, and again you can see the halves, first lobe, the second lobe having all the 4 sporangia in it. And let us study the details about it. Okay. Let me tell you this part, which is the frontal portion. You can see it is detached. I mean, there is a separation over here. Okay. Moreover, at this part, you can see this part, it is connected. Here there is separation, and the upper lobes you can see there, they are connected. They are connected with what? They are connected by a connective tissue. So I am just going to write over here. They are connected by a connective tissue. Okay. And what is the speciality here is that this connective tissue also bears the vascular strands. So what is present over here? The vascular strands. You know what is the vascular strands? Already you know the vascular bundles. They consist of the xylem and the phloem. What is the xylem and phloem? Their role is to provide food and water. So this complete anther is supported by the vascular strands, and they are continually being provided by the food and water. Okay. Now, here let us see one by one what is this distance. Now let us study about this distance. This distance is nothing but the anther wall. So this is the anther wall. So let us see, the anther consists of, the anther wall is made up of 4 layers. Anther walls are made up of 4 layers. That is this gap. I am talking about this gap. They are made up of 4 layers. They are called as the anther walls. Now what are those 4 layers, students? First, let me make that first layer. One by one, let us label all these layers. So let me make the very first one. So this is the first layer, the very first layer. And you know what is the outermost layer called? You might be familiar with that term also. The very first layer, the outermost layer, it is nothing else but the epidermis. Okay, so let me label here. This. Here, the very first layer, you can see these cells. This is nothing else but the epidermis. So I am just writing it over here because we have to label the other parts also. So this is nothing but the epidermis. Okay. This is the first anther wall layer, epidermis. Now let me just tell you the characteristics of the epidermis. Now what is the characteristics of epidermis? First of all, epidermis, it is the outermost layer. It is a one layer, that is, it is a single layer. It is single layered. It is thin. You can write these points, students. It is living in nature, and also it is protective. That is the most important role as it plays. It is protective in function. That means it is protecting the anther and whatever structure is present inside the anther. So this is all about the very first layer of the anther wall, that is the epidermis. I have made the cells over here, and here you can see it is single layered, it is thin, it is living, and moreover it is protective. Now let me make the second layer. Now the second layer, you can guess what it is. It is inside the epidermis, inside to the epidermis. So this layer is called as the endothecium. since it is inside. So again I'm going to label the second one. Okay, so here goes the second one. Here is the second one. The second layer is called as endothecium. You can underline this so that you can remember it very easily. It is the endothecium. Okay, so first one is the epidermis. And let's study about the characteristic features of endothecium. Now endothecium is again one layered. It is one layered, but it is thick, differentially thick. So here students, I am using the term differentially thick. So a big meaning is there for this term called differentially. Why I have written differentially thick? That means it is thick, but not everywhere it is thick. So this is the endothecium I have made. So here it is thick, but at every position it will not be thick. I'll be explaining you that. Let me write the third point. It is dead also. It is dead in nature, and it is made up of alpha cellulose. It is made up of alpha cellulose. Okay. Now let me tell you here. Just now I said that this is endothecium and it is differentially thick. The same thing what I am making here, children, in every lobe it is the same thing which is present. I am not making it in all the lobes there. The same diagram is expected to be made in every lobes. Okay. So here this is thick. Endothecium which will be present in this one, that also will be thick. Here also it will be thick, but there is one particular place where the endothecium will not be thick. It will be thin. Now which is that place, children? It is this particular place, this extension. Can you see this extension? This one which has been made here. At this particular location, the endothecium will not be thick, it will be thin. So at this location, at this position, we have cells which is called as the stomium cells. So I am writing it down here. Stomium cells. तो हम यहाँ लिख देते हैं. तो यहाँ पे होता है stomium cells. और यहाँ का जो endothecium होता है वो thick नहीं होता है. तो just let me write this. It is not thick. So here ये thick नहीं होता है. यहाँ पे thin होता है, बहुत weak होता है. क्यों होता है वीक? उसका भी एक वजह है. इसका वीक यहाँ पे इसलिए होता है ताकि आराम से जब ये एंथर मैच्योर होगा, जब इसको ब्रेक करने का टाइम आ जाएगा, तो ये इसी पॉइंट से ही वो ब्रेक करेगा, यहीं से वो रप्चर कर जाएगा. तो ये ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट है. तो यहीं से ये डैमेज हो जाएगा, मतलब वो ब्रेक हो जाएगा, रप्चर हो जाएगा. और इसीलिए ये जगह जो है थिक नहीं होते हुए क्या है, ये एंडोथीशियम जो सेल्स हैं, एंडोथीशियम के जो सेल्स हैं यहाँ पे वो बहुत कमज़ोर होते हैं, वीक होते हैं. पर यहाँ पर ये काफ़ी थिक होते हैं. इसीलिए मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा कि इट इज़ डिफरेंशियली थिक, मतलब कुछ जगह थिक और कुछ जगह काफ़ी थिन. ठीक है. तो यहाँ हम एक पॉइंट और लिख सकते हैं कि दिस एंडोथीशियम के जो सेल्स हैं, लाइक जैसे मैंने बताया आपको स्टोमियम सेल्स इट इज़ हेल्पिंग इन द, जो रप्चर की बात मैंने बताई है आपको, तो इट इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज द डेहिसेंस ऑफ एंथर. डेहिसेंस ऑफ एंथर यानी द रप्चर ऑफ द एंथर. और जब एंथर रप्चर होगा तो क्या निकलेगा उसके अंदर से? पोलन ग्रेन्स जो इसके अंदर प्रेजेंट है वो सारे के सारे जो है वो बाहर आ जाएंगे, वो सब निकल जाएंगे. तो दैट इज द रप्चर ऑफ एन एंथर टेकिंग प्लेस विद द हेल्प ऑफ द स्टोमियम सेल्स. ओके. और यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल इट एज अ लाइन ऑफ डेहाइसेंस. हम इसको कह सकते हैं लाइन ऑफ डेहाइसेंस. एक ही बात है. तो यहाँ से ये टूटता है. ओके. लेट्स गो टू द, अभी हमने सिर्फ दो ही लेयर पढ़े हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज द एपिडर्मिस, दूसरे के बारे में हमने पढ़ा वो एंडोथीशियम है जो मैंने बनाया है. नाउ द थर्ड लेयर विच आई एम गोइंग टू मेक इज द inner to the endothecium is the middle layer, and the middle layer is 2 to 3 layer thick. ये है, आप 1 से 2 लेयर इसका बना लीजिए. So this is the middle layer inner to the endothecium. This is a middle layer. Again I am making another one because I told you this is 2 to 3 layer thick. So this one, here you can see that the middle layer has been made. So this middle layer, I'm just writing over here, this is the third layer, okay? So you can label it as the middle layer. I'm writing over here. This is the third layer of the anther, that is the middle layer, okay? अब middle layer के बारे में क्या इसका features है? Now the middle layer की जो quality है, the middle layer actually it's a storage depot. ये स्टोर करता है कुछ रिजर्व्ड मटेरियल्स. इट इज स्टोरिंग इनसाइड इट सम रिजर्व मटेरियल्स. एंड व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ द रिजर्व मटेरियल्स? जो फूड होगा, व्हाटएवर मटेरियल्स व्हिच इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द नरिशमेंट ऑफ द एंथर. तो जो भी चीज नरिशमेंट के लिए चाहिए होता है एंथर को, दैट विल बी प्रोवाइडेड बाय दिस मिडिल लेयर. ये इसका काम होता है. तो इसका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स क्या है? लेट्स सी. आई एम राइटिंग इट ऑन द नेक्स्ट लाइन सो दैट आई गेट place to write. I think here. And let's talk about the point of middle layer. First point for middle layer आप लिख सकते हैं कि it is again 1 to 3 layer thick. ये thick होता है, ये 1 to 3 layer होता है, और दूसरा होता है ये living होता है. This is living in nature. It's not dead, it is living in nature. मैंने बताया it is a storage depot. तो ये स्टोर करने का काम करता है. इसके पास काफ़ी रिजर्व मटेरियल्स होता है. स्टोरेज डिपॉट, it has got a lot of reserve materials. And what is the function of the reserve materials? What is the role of the reserve materials? To provide nourishment to the anther. Okay? तो ये नरिशमेंट का काम करता है. It is providing nourishment. और धीरे धीरे हम देखते हैं कि जैसे जैसे आप देखते हो कि ये पोलन ग्रेन्स जो स्पोरोजिनस ये स्पोरेंजियम के अंदर जो बन रहे हैं और वो डेवलप होते जा रहे हैं, जब वो मैच्योर हो जाएंगे तब तक जो है वो आराम से ये मिडिल लेयर के नरिशमेंट को वो यूटिलाइज करते जाएंगे. तो जैसे जैसे डेवलपमेंट होता जा रहा है एंथर का और उसके अंदर जो पोलन ग्रेन्स हैं उसका डेवलपमेंट जैसे जैसे होता जाएगा, हम देखेंगे कि ये कंज्यूम होता जाएगा. दिस विल बी कंज्यूम्ड. दैट मीन्स रिजर्व मटीरियल्स धीरे धीरे खत्म हो जाएंगे, यानी दिस मिडिल लेयर विल बी डिग्रेडेड. वो चला जाएगा, वो फिनिश हो जाएगा. इट विल बी डिग्रेडेड as the pollen grains will be developing. Okay, so I think this is not too difficult point to remember for you all students. Next, अब बचा है हमारा और एक लास्ट लेयर जिसको हम यहाँ आपको बताना चाहेंगे. Here we have another one layer, the last one, the most important one, and that is the tapetum. So how to make this one? See here. Next layer is the I'm making here tapetum. Okay, so here making the tapetum here. You can see this. This is the tapetum, which is the last layer. Now what is the characteristic feature of this last layer which is present in the innermost part of the anther? So the characteristic feature of this tapetum is that it is a nutritive tissue. It is the nutritive tissue. So name itself suggests that it is providing nutrition, nourishment, and it has got a dense cytoplasm. The cytoplasm भी काफ़ी dense है because of the function which it is performing. तो इसके लिए इसका जो cytoplasm है काफ़ी dense है और इसमें जो है large number of cells are also present. That means large size cells are present. तो इसका जो cell size है, large sized cells are present. And moreover, it is a polyploid also. So polyploid, you know, it is a multinucleated condition. So it is multinucleated also. Condition is present. That is polyploidy is shown. Polyploidy is also shown. So I think all these 4 layers are very clear to you students. First is the epidermis, the outermost layer. Next is the endothecium. Their characteristic features are written over here. Then you have the middle layer. Again the points are given. And you have the 4th one, the tapetum. These many points. So let me tell you here one word, middle layer. I told you that it gets degraded very quickly. जल्दी से ये finish हो जाता है. So we can here add up one point that it is short-lived. It is short-lived, or you can use another one term, ephemeral in structure. It is ephemeral. That means short-lived. Ephemeral structure. ये consume हो जाता है जल्दी से. So this is the thing. So we have finished up with all the 4 layers of the anther wall, and next let us study about the sporangium, or what is called as a microsporangium के बारे में देखते हैं इसका थोड़ा सा detail, what it is. So now you can see the clip over here. You can see the transverse section of an anther. I think it's much clearer to you here, children. You can see the 2 lobes. It is a bilobe structure. You can see the 2 lobes. On either of the lobes you can see the 4 sporangium which is present. Okay, and I told you sporangium is the pollen sacs only, and you can see inside the pollen sac the pollen grains are present. And just now I had explained you about the anther walls, the different types of the layers I explained you all. The first one being the epidermis, the inner one being the endothecium, थर्ड वन मैंने बताया आपको द मिडिल लेयर, और द लास्ट वन टैपिटम. तो आप देखते हो कि सब एक डिफरेंट कलर्स में आपको उसमें दिखाया गया है कि सारे लेयर्स, ऑल द 4 layers आर प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द ट्रांसवर्स सेक्शन ऑफ एन anther very clearly. I think you can see that. Okay, now students, I will be talking about the sporogenous, that sporogenous cells which is present inside the sporangium. I'm just taking out a sporangium over here, and let me tell you the characteristic feature of this one. So I already told you, children, this is a microsporangium. Microsporangium. Now this microsporangium, this consists of sporogenous cells. The sporogenous cells are present inside it. Okay. Now what is the fate of the sporogenous cells is that they will transform themselves into microspore mother cells. Microspore mother cell, जिनको हम MMC भी बोलते हैं. It has other name also. We can call it as pollen mother cells. Pollen mother cells भी हम इसको कह सकते हैं. That is, it is written as PMC. Another one name, it can be, again it can be given with another name, and it is SMC. Now what is this SMC? It is spore mother cell. तो 3 नाम से हम इसको एड्रेस कर सकते हैं. We can say it as microspore mother cell, that is MMC. We can call it as PMC, that is a pollen mother cell, or we can call it as a spore mother cells. Okay, one and the same meaning. Now this microspore mother cell, what is the fate of these microspore mother cells? You know, the microspore mother cells, they will undergo reduction division. And what is the reduction division? You very well know it. It is nothing but meiosis. Meiosis is a reduction division. आपको पता है reduction का मतलब ही है कि the ploidy level होता है organism का, उसको half कर देगा. For example, like if this is the 2n, अगर ये diploid condition है तो meiosis undergo करके क्या होगा, ये haploid हो जाएगा. तो ploidy level is reduced to half. That is what I meant. So microspore mother cell, now it is diploid, undergoes the meiosis, which is a reduction division. Finally, what is the product? Finally, the product is you can see over here, it is 4. You can see what are these. These are the microspores which are being formed. और हम ये देखते हैं कितने microspores हैं. After the process of meiosis, 4 microspores have been formed. So we can call it as microspore tetrad. क्योंकि 4 बने हैं तो हम इसको कह सकते हैं the microspores tetrad. And what is the ploidy of these microspore tetrad? जैसे मैंने बताया 2n क्या हो जाएगा, it will be reduced to n. ये चारों जो हैं they are held together. That means ये they are held together very tightly. तो इनका cementing substance क्या है? What is the cementing substance? What is holding them so tightly? The substance which is holding them so tightly is callose. ये इनको पकड़ के रखा हुआ है अच्छी तरह, cemented करके रखा हुआ है so that they don't get separated very easily. But later on they get separated, that I'll be explaining it. So this is the thing you should know, that microsporangium, which consists of the sporogenous cells, which will be transformed into the MMC, that is the microspore mother cells. डिप्लॉइडी ऑफ विच इज 2n, ये डिप्लॉइड कंडीशन होता है, मियोसिस अंडरगो करते हैं ये, और मियोसिस अंडरगो करने के बाद बन जाते हैं माइक्रोस्पोर टेट्राड विच इज हैप्लॉइड इन नेचर। और बाद में ये माइक्रोस्पोर, व्हाट इज द फ्यूचर ऑफ दीज माइक्रोस्पोर्स, यही माइक्रोस्पोर इज नथिंग बट द पोलन ग्रेन्स। ये माइक्रोस्पोर इज नथिंग बट दीज आर कॉल्ड एज द पोलन ग्रेन्स। ये मैच्योर होते हैं और इसी को हम कहते हैं पोलन ग्रेन्स और द मेल गैमेटोफाइट। सो आई थिंक स्टूडेंट्स थोड़ा सा हम रिकैप कर लेते हैं कि जस्ट समराइज, लेट अस समराइज दैट व्हाट ऑल वी हैड लर्न टुडे। टुडे वी हैड डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द एंथर, दैट इज द मेल पार्ट ऑफ अ फ्लावर। हमने एंथर के बारे में डिस्कस किया था। क्या डिस्कस किया था हमने एंथर के बारे में? We discussed that it is a male part and we discussed about the cut section of an anther, ये हमने पढ़ा था। हमने देखा वो cut section of an anther जिसमें I told you that an anther is bilobed, 2 लोब होते हैं उसके अंदर, it is tetrasporangiate, ये सब हमने आज सीखा। और थर्ड मैंने आपको बताया द टीएस ऑफ एन एंथर, दैट इज़ द ट्रांसफर सेक्शन ऑफ एन एंथर, इसके बारे में पढ़ाई थी मैं अभी। तो जस्ट अभी हमने पढ़ा ये टीएस ऑफ एन एंथर। इसमें हमने देखा कि हाउ द 4 वॉल्स आर अरेंज्ड इनसाइड एन एंथर, और वो 4 वॉल्स क्या क्या थे। फर्स्ट वन वॉज एपिडर्मिस, सेकेंड वॉज एंडोथीशियम, थर्ड वन being the middle layer and the fourth one was tapetum। सबके हमने रोल्स देखे, क्या क्या वो रोल करते हैं, उनका क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर है, ये सब हमने पढ़ा। देन वी स्टडीड अबाउट अ स्पोरेंजियम ऑल्सो, कि वो स्पोरेंजियम के अंदर, माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम के अंदर क्या होते हैं। जैसे मैंने बताया उसके अंदर द स्पोरोजीनियस सेल्स आर देयर विच गेट ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू द पोलन मदर सेल्स, और अब पोलन मदर सेल्स दे अंडरगो द मियोसिस, दैट इज अ रिडक्शन डिवीजन, और रिडक्शन डिवीजन होने के बाद दे विल बी प्रोड्यूसिंग द माइक्रोस्पोर टेट्राड। हमने 4 सेल्स देखे थे, और ये माइक्रोस्पोर टेट्राड दे फाइनली दे गेट ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इनटू द माइक्रोस्पोर्स, जिसको हम पोलन ग्रेन्स भी कहते हैं। तो आई थिंक व्हाट ऑल वी डिस्कस्ड यू हैव लर्नड इट वेरी वेल चिल्ड्रन, एंड आई वांट दैट एट होम ऑल्सो यू गिव अ वेरी गुड प्रैक्टिस ऑफ इट। इसको, ये डायग्राम्स को अच्छी तरह प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, और ये टर्म्स एंड डेफिनेशंस को यू ट्राई टू लर्न इट चिल्ड्रन। तो नेक्स्ट वी विल बी कंटिन्यूइंग इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास। थैंक यू फॉर द पेशेंट लिसनिंग।